This is Starting Five with the Sleepers, and Carter's week of winning rolls on. Congrats to your City boys, by the way. Looking like they're going to be at the top of the table all season long.
You know, when you win so much and like every Monday you win, you can't do victory shades every Monday. So this morning we're going to do a little victory candle. We got a little Island Retreat soy blend candle here, you know, not animal cruelty free, all that jazz. We're going to light a little victory candle for good vibes. Because all I'm doing is winning lately, and it's getting a little annoying. And I know people are probably out there whispering like, oh, God, I'm so sick of Carter winning and doing things great. It is what it is. Find the best way to deal with it. But my soccer club is winning 3 points on the opening weekend. My striker is doing the double. My college basketball team and college basketball coach are making the recruiting trail. It's bitch. Life is good. Melly Tuck is coming from Michigan State football. I really don't know what possibly could be going wrong for me right now. I can't think of anything. If you think of anything, you let me know. But life is really, really good right now.
Did you say not animal cruelty free for the candle? Does that mean it is animal cruelty full?
There's no need to nitpick at my opening monologue. Okay, you know what I was trying to say.
All right, I was just wondering. We don't support animal cruelty here at Sleepers Media Enterprise.
How are you doing, G? The shirt's fire, by the way.
Thank you. You know, competitive cycling club. I'm all right. I'm definitely not you. I'm definitely not winning everything. But I'm here. Half of winning is showing up. That's the first step. So I'm here on a Monday trying to get this going. Michigan State's fantastic news continues rolling on, as you alluded to. So we're going to have about 3 separate Michigan State topics at the top here again, including the newest recruit who's going to commit this week, and some MSU Twitter discussion, and 5 minutes where I can only compliment Tom Izzo. So stick around for this if you're a Michigan State fan. We're also going to talk Illinois, and we're also going to talk a Big Ten program that we've never talked about on the show. Maybe once we've talked about them when we had a player on. Who's doing some big things on the recruiting trail, Cart. So big show ahead here. And we have an interview, Cart, not to just tease everything we're doing this week, but we're interviewing a 4, maybe 5-star prospect in the 2023 recruiting class, kind of out of nowhere.
One of the fastest risers of the summer.
You compared him, what'd you call him?
Pick a pop Shia LaBeouf.
That should tell you all you need to know, folks. Stay tuned for that. That'll drop either later this week or beginning of next week. All right, let's get into the news. Coen Carr is going to commit to Michigan State. That's as plainly as I can put it. It's not a surprise. Everybody's crystal balls, everybody's future cast. We need a Sleepers Media version of that, by the way. I haven't come up with a good term for it yet, but we are in the camp of saying this will happen prediction-wise. It's a done deal. Supposedly, that's the end of this Michigan State recruiting class now, with Garrick Norman, with Xavier Booker, with Jeremy Fears, and now with Coen Carr, 4 very different versatile pieces that can do a lot of different things on the court and draw comparisons to the quote-unquote the class with he who shall not be named, Josh Langford, Cassius Winston, and Nick Ward. Coen Carr, though, bouncy. I mean, he's bounce house someone. I don't know who the player comp is yet, but he's got a crazy vertical. I'm a little skeptical he has much more than that. I'm not going to lie. And this is probably the meanest I'm going to come across on this episode of Michigan State, because I have a lot of nice things to say in segments 2 and 3. Coen Carr is the guy I'm least excited about in this class, and it's not close. I wanted Normand over him. A lot of people, I think, flip-flop that. They like Carr more than they like Normand. Where do you stand on Coen Carr and his future as a player for Michigan State?
So I think, first off, for starters, you hit the nail on the head with Carr. At the end of the day, you got a guy who is extremely high motor as far as hitting the offensive glass, hitting the defensive glass, having a motor. That's never going to be an issue with him. Athleticism, definitely never going to be an issue with him. I mean, I think last time he tested at a camp, 45-inch vertical, that would have been tops at the NBA Combine last year. Like the kid's athleticism and bounce is off the charts. He's a 1-foot leaper as well, which I think helps him a little bit. He doesn't necessarily have to gather and get off too. Gives him the ability to get out in transition, get off the floor quickly, run out, fun. I think he'll be a lot of fun playing with guys who can get him out in transition. So point guards like Hogarth, point guards like Fears, even guys like Akins, I think will be able to get him involved, get out and run. It'll be a lot of fun. Players will love to watch, fans will love to come out and see Coen Carr get out in transition. Now, with that said, because, they're in the same class, and our initial target, somebody we'll talk about later, Devin Royal, committed to Ohio State. Those are going to be two comparisons for me. Now, I think Devin Royal overall is a better player. I think he's more skilled offensively. Now he's not even close to the athlete that Carr is, but I think just skill wise, he would have fit great in the state system, and that he's better than Coen Carr. Now, with that said, I think that Coen Carr is a good fourth piece to round out this class. I think that you don't compound the fact that we lost out on Royal. You don't let that basically build up and we don't get anything. I think that Carr, I feel bad calling it like a complimentary prize or whatever the word is. It's kind of slipping my mind right now, like a little throwaway giveaway.
Consolation.
I think, yeah, he's a good piece. I think that it's a good bounce back from not getting Royal. So at the end of the day, I think it rounds out a good 4-man class for us. And I'm on the same hill as you. Personally, I think that, as far as recruiter goes, Booker, Fears, Norman, Carr for this class. Now, with that said, that's a great recruiting class. Like, credit to Tom Izzo. I'm sure that'll come up in the next segment as well. But yeah, I think he'll be good. There might be some things there offensively he can kind of develop. I don't really know. I personally have not seen it. I'm going to watch more of him to see if there is something there. There might be something there, but at the end of the day, you got a high level athlete with a high motor. So I'll take that on my team.
You just led me to a great nickname for Carr, Consolation Carr. I mean, he's
that was the word too. Thank you for
solid player. No, look, in all seriousness, I will take my pot shots here and there, but you nailed it. If Carr is the fourth piece in your recruiting class, that's an elite recruiting class, period. If Carr was the second best player or the first best player in a class, you're kind of like, maybe it's a little dicey. He's still a take, but like, yeah, if this dude's the fourth guy in this class, that's incredible. It's the same as Nick Ward being the fourth guy in the class years ago. I don't think that's not a comparison to say Carr is going to come in and average double digits as a freshman like Nick Ward did. I don't really think Coen Carr is going to play much early in his career. Look, I've seen a lot of tape. It sounds like I'm real negative on the kid. I'm not. He's a very clear 4-star. Like, to me, he's a guy that, like, if he didn't go to Michigan State, honestly, I kind of would have expected him to end up at like a Vanderbilt instead of like a Tennessee. I know they were on his list too. Like, he seems to me more as like a prize jewel of a bad team's recruiting class than like a guy who ends up being a 4-year player and becomes a starter at a really good program. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I just think there's not a lot there other than his athleticism and his motor, which are two fantastic things to start with. He can definitely build. I have no idea how the kid's wired mentally and emotionally. All I've heard are good things. But I don't know. Like, this reminds me of the Michigan recruitment where it was Seth Trimble versus Doug McDaniel. And I leaned Doug, actually, just because, like, from watching Seth, I was like, all he is an athlete. He's a body. But he, like, every bucket in game film of him is just overpowering smaller high school defenders that he won't be able to do in college. And it remains to be seen if I'm right or wrong on that. I also think Trimble is a way better player than Coen Carr is. But when I watch game film of Coen Carr, it's basically bulldozing through people in a way I don't think he'll be able to do in college, or the highlight reel dunks, which are crazy impressive. I just question how that translates to a useful player in the Big Ten.
This is the only thing I'll say about that. And I see the comparison there as far as Doug and Trimble, but the only difference there is that Coen Carr is he's actually built like pause. Like, he's actually, I mean, he's legit 6'5", 6'6", bigger body guy, long arm. So it's a little, I can more so see him having the ability to make an impact, because I think physically he'll be able to, especially if he's put in the right, like, I feel like we could even go like small ball with him at like a 4. And he could have his way maybe with some smaller, 4-man or smaller, playing on the wing as well. I don't know. I feel like there's different things you can do with him. And with his motor and energy, I feel like he'll be able to get there. Now, the skeptical point for me, and I'd be interested to know your thoughts, is where, and you kind of alluded to it, kind of where is his development going to go moving forward? Because obviously the athleticism there, the motor's there. but I personally don't see where the actual skill developments have. I mean, the games that I've watched, the jumper has, I would use the word broken.
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress. Yeah, let's say that. It's work in progress. And that can happen. I mean, guys come to college and they find a susceptible, acceptable jumper, and they're able to, at least be respected by taking jumpers. So it's a leap that he can take. My player comp for him will still be like 6'5" Jared Vanderbilt for people who remember him at Kentucky. That's kind of what he is to me.
I will say this. I think it's easier and better to have to teach a prospect to shoot than it is to have to get a prospect in shape and teach him how to jump. So like, we're never going to have to question that. If you throw him onto the floor, he'll be able to defend and at least not physically be overpowered. But yeah, I do lean on the side of like, if I'm projecting how his shooting is going to go, some guys just don't have the gene where they can develop a jumper. I think that's what my early impressions are with Coen Carr. I would not bet on him ever developing a reliable jump shot. I think you're right. The best thing for Michigan State would be if he becomes a 4. I hate this comp. It's not a comp. What I'm about to say is not a comparison. But the way Brandon Dawson started his career as a 3 and then ended up a 4 as an upperclassman, I think is how you want to see Coen Carr get used. But let me be extremely clear. And we're going to go into a second segment where I get to do more of this. Coen Carr is not Brandon Dawson. Brandon Dawson was a 5-star consensus top 10-ish player in that class.
McDonald's All-American.
Before he got injured as a freshman, Brandon Dawson was a different beast. Coen Carr is not that. And it's okay that he's not that, Michigan State fans. Stop comparing every player to Spartan greats. It drives me nuts, Carter.
I can see. Wait, so now I just got other state players going through my head.
I got one. If you want one that's way more accurate than this.
Is he Marvin Clark without a jumper?
He's bounce house Marvin Clark. That was what I was going to say. 100%.
I can see that comp.
Which is fine. Bounce house Marvin Clark's a really good player if he develops a jumper. But like, start there, okay? Let's not immediately throw the one best athlete Izzo's had in 10 years comps to this kid. He may be able to jump in an empty gym as high as anybody they've had, but that's about it as far as translatable basketball goes to Brandon Dawson.
Very true. So stop with the Brandon Dawson comparisons, and for sure stop with the he who shall not be named comparisons. That's disgusting, especially because they're both left-handed, and it's easy to do that.
Yeah. All right. That's a good segue into the second half. This is kind of Coen Carr related, but it leads to a larger point of mine. I've had some back and forths with MSU Twitter lately. People that I genuinely like as far as like Twitter people go. I haven't met them in real life, but like Cumbo and Travis Mulhauser, like I've gotten to know them a little bit. They've generally been pretty nice to me as far as opposing fans go. But like, I can't say anything online without just getting raked for it. And then like it'll start with one of those two who I actually like, but then you just go in and my mentions get flooded with like people who don't even follow me being like this agenda-based idiot. Like it's driving me nuts, Cart. And this time it was because I tried to say something nice about Jaden Akins. Literally all I'm saying is the man's like a superstar and I hope he plays a ton. And I'm just peppered with like, he's going to play. Stop this. What are you doing? Can we wait until he plays one game before we say he's not playing enough? Like we just saw a full year where he didn't play enough. What are we doing? Like it drives me nuts. I don't think I'm wrong for it, but so here's what I want to do. On behalf of MSU Twitter, I want to read a couple Coen Carr tweets. Okay. And then I want you to tell me whether you like or dislike the tweet. Cause now there's a dislike button on Twitter. Cart, you can dislike tweets. So I got 4 of them here. I'm going to read them word for word. And then I'd like you to tell me if you like or dislike them. Okay.
All right. Ready.
All right. This is Spartan Dog 101. Coen Carr is Showtime at its finest. His former Spartan comparison is Brandon Dawson. Just like Dawson, Carr gets a lot of work done from the mid-range and above the rim, a type of player that you need on a championship caliber team.
When did Brandon Dawson have a nice mid-range game?
Never.
Okay, no, that
That's a dislike?
That's a dislike.
It's a dislike. Okay. All right. This is from at McMathgetball. Coen Carr makes me think of a higher offensive upside, Eve Pons.
Higher upside E Pons.
Higher offensive upside, Eve Pons.
Higher offensive upside E Pons. Can I stay in the middle on that? I don't know.
That's fine. You don't have to like or dislike, I guess.
I can kind of like see that, I guess. Maybe I don't necessarily know. Like his I don't know. I feel like his ceiling might be Eve's Pons.
I like that. I twist the word a little bit. I like the Eve Pons comparison. I wouldn't say he can be offensively better. I think if anything, it'd be defensively better. But don't hate that comp. We'll give that, I guess, a thumbs up. Thumbs sideways, thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
All right. This is John from East Lansing. According to a Sports Illustrated article in December, Coen Carr reportedly has a 45-inch vertical. If accurate, that's elite even by NBA standards. The best vertical at the 2022 Combine was 41.5. Either way, he has rare athleticism. Thumbs up?
Thumbs up. That's a lot of facts.
So we're just accepting that Coen Carr has a 4-inch higher vertical than every NBA prospect that entered the draft this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to thumbs down that one.
Why?
Because I don't think that's accurate at all, is my point. And finally, from at Bar Time Anytime, this is a response to you. If you were to combine Bridges and Dawson, you would get Coen Carr.
I wish I had more thumbs.
You sent me that tweet. You sent me that tweet this weekend.
Yeah, because that was one of the worst tweets I've ever seen in my life.
Do you want to elaborate on why?
We're combining Miles Bridges and Brandon Dawson? Isn't that Zion Williamson? like what are we doing here?
It must be fun to like live like that though, right? Like if you genuinely believed that, wouldn't it be fun?
You mean not live in reality?
I don't know, dude. Like that seems like a blissful life. You know, like if I could think Coen Carr was actually Brandon Dawson mixed with Miles Bridges without punching women, like I would be a pretty happy person, I think, wouldn't I?
I guess. Man, this is, like you said, there's just so many beautiful parts of like MSU Twitter, but then there's like the certain section of it that I feel like they're in this bubble. They're like if MSU Twitter was like an Amish like country, basically, like they don't know anything outside of that bubble. So all they do is compare everything that's inside the Amish bubble. And once they get outside of it, they don't know what to look at and don't know what to do. Like, I don't really understand where you get. I would like to have a conversation, maybe get a cup of coffee with that person and really have them explain to me why they think that Coen Carr is a combination of Brandon Dawson and Miles Bridges.
I wouldn't like that.
I want to know.
I don't.
Maybe he has some good valid points.
You think so?
No, but like I'm all about hearing people out.
That's true. That's true. Hey, if you're listening, come join our Spotify room and tell us to our face. We do Spotify rooms. Well, usually it's every Wednesday. The two of us are together. We're doing some special Michigan State stuff this week. So don't know when it'll be, but you're welcome. Open invite. Come up on stage and tell us. Come up on stage and yell at me, people. If you want to tweet at me, if you want to get the Twitter fingers out, much rather hear it from your voice. Tell me how much of an idiot I am. Okay, I'll take it.
Can I get one more minute before we transition?
Sure.
I think everyone out there needs to take it easy on you, man. I mean, I get it. Like if anyone gets it, let me tell y'all, I fucking get it. Okay, I know how the kid is. Love him. Know how he is. He can say some things that get you sometimes, but at the end of the day, you can never say that he doesn't tell it like it is. That's all I gotta say. If something happens and there's a Michigan recruit that's the same way, I feel like he'll take the same stance. Now, the bias is there, of course. It's there with everybody. It's there with me. Anyone who says they're not biased towards their rival is just lying to themselves. Like, you can just try to be as least biased as possible, but there's always going to be a little pinch, a little sprinkle in there somewhere. So just, back it up a little bit. All right. Everyone's biased. It happens.
Thank you, my friend. I did not intend for that to be the goal of this segment, but I appreciate it.
And we're podcast hosts. So if you want to see Greg, you got to come see me too. I don't think people really are taking that into effect. Like if someone really wanted to fight you, like I'm there.
That's true. You might need to prepare yourself for the Meyer parking lot battle between me and Travis Mulhauser at some point. That's one of my favorite ongoing bits is meet me at the Meyer parking.
Hey, meet me at Lake Lansing Meyer, sundown.
We're there. Hopefully for a tailgate soon. All right. Last thing. Was I really that wrong for my Akins thing though? Did you even see that thread? Like I wasn't wrong for Akins.
So sometimes I get caught up in those threads and I stop looking at them. Which one was this? Because there's multiple.
So the most recent one was you retweeted the video that Matt Babcock put out that was like Akins breakout year. Look at this workout sensation.
Oh, I did. Did you say free him?
I quote tweeted it and said hashtag free him, which first of all is an ongoing bit of mine to players I love. CC Kobe Buffkin all last season became a running joke and Michigan fans hung that over my head like I was an idiot, which is fine. But like, that's what I do. If I have a freshman or a sophomore that I love, I think he's a bit underutilized. Hashtag free him is the movement.
That's very common.
So I tweet that because again, Jaden Akins deserves to be freed. He was not freed last year. And I just get like 20 minutes of rotational back and forth of like, Izzo's going to play him, right? Can we wait 1 second? And like, that wasn't that wrong of me, was it? Like,
oh, free him.
He deserves to be freed. And I think in all seriousness with Akins, I think the people who are like telling me to stop about this are very comfortable with Akins just playing 20 to 25 minutes and never at point guard. That's where I differ. Like I spelled that out to Cumbo back and forth. He's like, well, he's not going to get point guard minutes, but he's going to get 25. That's not enough for me. I want him freed. I want the ball in his hands. I don't care if AJ Hogarth's on the team. I don't care if Tyson Walker's on the team. This kid's special. I want to see him play some point guard. I want to see him play 30 to 32 minutes a game. And until that happens, I'm going to complain that he's being underutilized. And I don't think that's crazy, Cart.
No, I'm with you. We talked about this. I'm team play your best players. Jaden Akins I'm ready to say it. Jaden Akins is our best player. Jaden Akins is our best player. I think with 30 minutes a game, Jaden Akins is our best player. He can show he's our best player. He's the best player long-term as well on this basketball team currently. Just play the man. Free him. I'm team free him too.
Thank you.
Free him from the shackles of 6 minutes a game. Free him from the shackles of Cormac Christie. It's time.
Hashtag free him.
Free him.
And lastly, there's been so many guards for the record. Another one, Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, the Purdue decommit. That's the move. Don't even consider it an option.
Don't need him.
Do you think they want him though?
No.
He was at Michigan State.
I bet he was, but like the only reason that this is a thing is because he's Jeremy Fears' AAU teammate. And Jeremy Fears is the best agent in college basketball currently.
He is legitimately.
This is
no joke.
Like if any Rich Paul client was to like leave their team, everyone would be like, oh, they're linked to going with LeBron. Oh, they're linked to go play with LeBron. They're a clutch client. That's kind of what it is in college basketball. Jeremy Fears is Breslin Center Rich Paul.
He is. It's incredibly impressive. Hopefully we can get Fears on an episode soon. I think he followed Sleepers or liked something from Sleepers recently. So would love to get you on.
AKA he wants to come on. That's what that means.
We would love to get you on if you're listening to this. But yeah, I like if they did show serious interest in Gibbs Lawhorn, isn't that just a slap in the face to Jaden Akins? Like, yeah. Because they're going on 6 bodies in the backcourt now, and he's still 3rd on the pecking order right now, supposedly. I don't know. I just think we're playing with fire a little bit is all I'm saying. Free him.
I don't want to add an undersized guard when we already have an undersized killer in Jai Akins.
Free him. Hashtag
free him.
Let's move on to the most positive segment I will ever have about Michigan State, Cart. We went back and forth on doing this. I'm going to set a timer. We're going to do 5 minutes, Cart, where I can only say nice things about Tom Izzo. That's literally, if I'm going to talk about anything in the next 5 minutes, I have to be saying nice things about Tom Izzo. I'm going to start my timer, and then I'm going to let you facilitate because I can also be quiet for this 5 minutes. And this is in light, again, of me getting absolutely torched after last week's episode for an under the shoulder, off the cuff little, I don't like Tom Izzo as a person comment. And then I explained myself like for pretty real reasons and just got a bunch of screw yous back from people that don't follow me. So 5 minutes of me saying nice things about Tom Izzo. It commences right now.
Okay, let's see here. Gregory, first thing I want to touch on, there were some comments made earlier in the summer about my coach not necessarily putting the effort in on the recruiting trail, not necessarily doing what he needs to do to build a team and get recruits in. Would you like to comment on that? Because it seems like he's really rounded out a nice 2023 class, probably a top 5 class.
Yeah, this is a top 5 class for the moment. I think it's probably a top 5 class when all is said and done. It's a top 2 class for Izzo in the last decade. I never should have questioned his work ethic, although this is very surprising how it came seemingly out of nowhere. The man clearly had a plan, and when he has a plan A, it's a good plan A, and this time he executed on his plan A. Bravo. Well done.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I was also in the same court where I didn't really see this happening. I don't think anyone saw this happening. I think everyone can take a quick, deep look deep within themselves and not lie to themselves and be like, oh, we all saw this coming. Oh, we knew Izzo was going to do this. We did not know Izzo was going to do this. It's beautiful that he is doing it, but I didn't expect it. I don't think anyone who had some actual sense really expected this to happen. So it's great that it's happening.
4 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Okay. Oh, we got plenty.
Actually, no, 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. Sorry.
Oh, that's completely fine because we got absolutely plenty of time. Greg, can you rank the current Big Ten coaches?
I have to be nice, right? That's the whole rule of this game. To win a game, just to win a game, who do I want coaching my team? Tom Izzo is one, unquestionably.
Interesting. Let's see here. What about when it comes to recruiting? Because I know you're a Michigan fan and I know you hang your hat on recruiting, but it kind of seems like it's been a little slow so far in 2023, whereas the rest of the Big Ten is really moving along quite quickly and getting recruits in. It seems that you're kind of lacking in that section. Is that something you'd like to comment on?
This isn't the Juwan Howard hate 5 minutes. If you're asking me if I'm worried about Juwan Howard as a recruiter, the answer is emphatically no.
Are you worried about him as a player developer?
No, but less emphatically.
Okay. I would be, because he really doesn't develop anything. All he did was develop a relationship with a 7-1 guy who runs straight up. He's going to play 5 years in college. But anywho, moving forward, it seemed that you kind of made some comments that Tom Izzo might be done in like the next 2 to 3 years. I think at the end of last year, coming to the end of his quote unquote tenure. Are we going to get like 5 more years of Tom Izzo? Is there another Final Four in Tom Izzo's future?
I think you might get 20 more years of Tom Izzo. I'm not kidding.
20 more years of Izzo.
Look, here's it, straight up. I will never speculate that man's leaving again. And I think some of it, this isn't hate, but some of it was quote unquote wishful thinking from me because, we have personal ties with Drew Valentine. We wanted to see him get an opportunity before he gets a bigger job. It seemed like those were converging a little bit. They're not converging. Tom Izzo's never leaving. And Michigan State fans shouldn't want him to leave, obviously. I kept provoking and saying, are you at the breaking point yet? The breaking point's never coming. Tom Izzo is never going to willingly leave. He will be on his deathbed still trying to coach Michigan State. And if that means more Final Fours, great. It definitely could. He has the talent to win a national championship in 2 years.
Cool. 2 years.
A year and a half. Just sim the season. We just got to get to year 2.
How much time do I have left?
You have exactly 1 minute left.
1 minute left. Okay, quick. If I had a big moment in my life, and let's say I had a press conference for that, they announced whatever the next step in my career is or something like that, would you show up?
It depends on the moment. You're not a big moments guy. You've always told me that, but it
Yes,
depends.
no question.
It depends on what you accomplished. It does.
If I'm making the next big step in my career,
like, are you getting promoted at your company right now?
Yeah, I'm getting promoted and I'm taking over, and they're having an introductory press conference where I cut a ribbon.
I think I'd be on the Zoom call.
That's different.
If you texted me and said, come to this, I would come.
Okay. Just make. Honestly, I don't really need any of those things right there. I have a
10
little
seconds.
Note file.
10
I have
seconds.
a note file for myself. Just say I love Tom Izzo.
3 seconds left.
Say it.
Time's up.
Say it.
Time is up.
Say it.
Time is up. Not because you
say I love Coach Izzo.
You said.
Say it or I'll walk off this episode.
I respect Coach Izzo. You were clear at the front of this episode. I tell it how it is. I don't lie. I can't lie.
Okay.
Uttering those words would be a lie. I
respect what Coach Izzo is doing as a basketball coach and how he's moving in the recruiting trail and everything else surrounded around basketball activities.
100%. 100%. Okay, here's a genuine, the minute's up and I'm still going. Here's a genuine piece of maybe the nicest possible thing I could say about Tom Izzo. If I were able to pick my basketball program, my college basketball program's head coach from scratch, I would run through a wall. My first choice would be Tom Izzo, because everything he does benefits his college program more than anything else. And no other coach in the country can say that. Other coaches either benefit themselves personally or benefit guys going to the NBA, or like everything Tom Izzo does is fueled by an insane, insatiable desire to beat Michigan and win at the college level. And sometimes I make fun of him for the facets of that, but like it's incredible. He's the only coach in the country that's that good, that is wired that way. And if I had to pick from scratch, I would 100% pick Tom Izzo. No questions asked.
Wow. I love that choice, by the way.
This segment's over. Can we move on?
That was one of my favorites.
I just hope I can flip that on you at some point. But by the way, like, I don't think I would come unless you texted me about it. Like, if you say, hey, can you be here? I would be there, of course. But like, if you don't, I don't think I'd know to just like show up to the press conference. I'm definitely not bringing like 30 people from your past with me and showing up at your press conference. Okay. That's a little creepy. All right. Illinois. Do you want to do your usual one word for Illinois fans?
Well, they did something technically.
Oh yeah, they technically did something. We've been waiting for Illinois news for months now at this point. And the biggest news that we got is that Skyy Clark took a picture with Tobey Maguire. Skyy Clark took a picture with Spider-Man. And not only that, Tobey Maguire, I'm looking at the picture right now. Tobey Maguire is wearing a Skyy Clark jersey, Carter. Now, I feel like I'm like one of those little kids at like the dentist's office where there's like, spot the differences in these pictures. Like, I'm just intensely investigating this picture. You know how that goes, like in our basketball group chat, like someone sends a picture, we're going to find something wrong with the picture. There are some concerning elements of this picture for me. But I want to do just an Illinois offseason vibe check. We did this with Michigan a little bit ago. That was kind of like rank the offseason players or the hype rankings for people. Illinois has a lot of new faces and a lot of vibes. They might be hashtag team vibes. And you and I love hashtag team vibes. It was UCLA the past 2 seasons. It might be Illinois this year. So let's just do a little bit of a vibe check. First off, the Skyy Tobey picture. What do you make of that?
That Skyy has his toenails painted. I'd like to know more about that. Also seems kind of hot there, has a scully on. But besides that, this picture is money. Like, you got Tobey Maguire wearing your jersey. That's good for vibes. So all in all, if a state player took this picture and Tobey Maguire was wearing a Jaden Akins jersey, I would be all in, rushing to place a future for that team to win the Big Ten championship.
So I've just a lot of questions. Is Tobey Maguire an Illinois fan? or is he a Skyy Clark fan? Because it seems like this is like a Skyy Clark driven move, not like a Illinois program driven move. Secondly, what superheroes would you rank? Like who do you most want from a superhero to take a picture with your point guard? Is Tobey Maguire top 2? I feel like Tobey's down on the list for me. Like he might be like 7 to 10.
No. Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man as a whole are up there for me. Now, if my player was taking a picture with like Batman, then not so much.
But I think Tobey's not the first Spider-Man I'd want. First of all, I think Andrew Garfield over that.
No, absolutely not.
Tom Holland right now is definitely like the hot Spider-Man over Tobey Maguire. And I like the real answer is Robert Pattinson, Batman, right? Like that would be the most prestigious superhero pick you could take.
You're really disrespecting Tobey Maguire. Also, I don't know, you might have like put this in the thumbnail or something, but I think everyone knows, it's kind of tough to see. Everyone knows a guy that looks like Tobey Maguire.
That's pretty true. You're not wrong.
Like I literally know like 3 Tobey Maguires. 2 of them are my clients, and one guy is a guy that I see at LA Fitness hooping all the time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I will say pretty honestly, I don't think I know anybody who has the vibes of Skyy Clark though. So like, can we
also,
dissect Skyy Clark a little?
Are we gonna talk about the Skyy Clark tweet to John Rothstein too?
Yeah. So the nothing happened tweet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Rothstein did his casual offseason, like just random college basketball tweets. And he tweeted about Skyy Clark, mentioned his injury, and Skyy quoted it and said nothing happened, which is the tattoo he has on the knee that he had the injury from. Look, you mentioned the toenails painted. I don't want to get lost in that. I don't want to go too harsh there, but like also, if this was on one of our teams, we would spend 20 minutes dissecting that and feel a lot more emotional about it. I think that Skyy might be a vibes for the vibes guy and not a vibes for like who he truly is guy, if that makes sense. The more that comes out about Skyy, like the man always has something visual going on to like his accessories that doesn't make sense at all and is not stylistically the same with who he is consistently.
Wait a damn minute. Are you going there? Are you saying that it's manufactured?
It might be manufactured juice. It might be manufactured drip a little bit.
Is he 6 foot Hunter Dickinson with Tiger Campbell's hair?
There are some Hunter comparisons. Now, for Illinois fans who are listening to this, like, what the hell are you talking about? The historical precedent here. I'm a Michigan fan. We went to Big Ten Media Day last year, and the first thing we both said when we got in the car was Michigan's screwed if Hunter Dickinson's their best player, because it was manufactured energy from him. Like he was trying to put the hat on and be the villain, and it just came across as so fraudulent. Now, again, I like Hunter as a player. I like Hunter for telling it out how it is as a person. Like he's not afraid to get in the weeds on Twitter, and that's fun. But to me, like there's some energy of that with Skyy here. Like, okay, number 55, quirky, probably just to be quirky, right? His hair, very like kind of out there. Love that. Like if those 2 things alone were it, I'm like, oh, I'm all about this dude. That's kind of how I was in the offseason. Then you add the nothing happened tattoo. All about this dude. Then you add the fact that he is only seen playing pickup or practice stuff in like size 3XL t-shirts. I love this dude. Those 4 things alone could not be more in. And his name's Skyy with 2 Ys. Everything about him I love. This is the first picture that really gives me pause, Cart, because 1, why is he with Tobey Maguire? Little manufactured. 2, 5 of his toenails are painted. Not every toenail, Cart. 5 of them are painted. He's got 3 painted on the left foot. He's got 2 painted on the right foot. And I'm convincing myself mentally, Cart, he's doing something with like the 5 number because he's number 5'5". So 5 of his toes are painted. And there's some weird reason for that. It makes no sense why a man would paint 5 of their toenails. It makes no sense.
Or maybe he broke the toes and aren't painted, and like that's his nothing happened way of saying it by not painting the toenail.
It just I've spent 12 hours genuinely trying to think of a reason a man would paint just 5 of his toenails. I can't process it.
Yeah, either can I, because I know like in football, they actually have quarterbacks who are in shotgun paint their fingernails so that I think the lineman can something making it easier to see, or don't like catchers like paint their fingernails so they can see the signs on pitching. I don't know. There's no need for it in basketball, so I don't know.
Unless is this a Daddy Brad move? Is Daddy Brad making Io paint 5 of his toenails? Curbelo definitely painted his toenails.
Does Brad paint his toenails?
I don't know. And then, okay, then let's not forget, you mentioned it quickly, but like, let's not forget the fact that he's wearing that on his head. Like, this is a summer day.
Where's that picture even at? Was there a caption?
I don't know. It's a summer day. Like, I fear my man is doing too much. And I really want to love Skyy Clark. I want to be all in on him. But this is the first picture that gives me pause as a fan that, like, I don't know. Like, it's D'Angelo Russell sometimes did too much with his swag. And I think I love D'Angelo Russell. He's one of my favorite college players ever. But at a certain point, he went from cool to corny. You know what I mean? And I fear that Skyy's on that trajectory already before he even plays a game.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like mostly Illinois has such a rush of like doing things at the peak of the portal and, you know, adding players and doing things such as that now it's just kind of slowing down a little bit. And we're forced to talk about Tobey Maguire and Skyy Clark pictures.
Can we end with just a Illinois vibe rankings? Give me your top 5 on the team. And the nice thing about Illinois is their men's basketball account tweets out more video content than any other team's account from what I've seen. Like, there's daily videos of these dudes hooping. So I love that. I do think they're one of the swaggiest teams in the country right now. But Skyy, a week ago, Skyy was like the clear number 1 on my vibes checklist. And he's falling. Spoiler alert, he's falling. So give me your top 5, 1 through 5 Illinois vibe rankings.
Ooh. Skyy Clark's still 1 for me. Personally, I'll go Coleman Hawkins 2, Meyer 3, Shannon 4.
You got to get to 5. I need it.
Luke Goody last.
The funniest part about their men's basketball Twitter account is that I swear to God, every video they tweet, Luke Goody's just like getting dunked on, or like he's the one challenging at the rim and like the other dude's scoring every time. It's so funny to me. I feel like it's an ongoing running joke.
Oh, 100%. They definitely got a ginger bias going down there in Champaign. 5, let's go with honestly, I really don't know. They might kind of fall. Give me, I'll go Dane Danger.
Yeah, Dane's honorable mention for me. I was curious where he was going to fall for you because you like big guys that can salsa a little bit. And Dane,
I'm sorry. What was that?
Big guys that can salsa. That's it. Like you like a center.
Is this salsa?
It's like the little back and forth, and that's Dane. Dane can salsa a little bit. He can get on the floor. I'm sorry about that. My 5. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Coleman Hawkins is 5. I'm going reverse order. And honestly, that's a big accomplishment for Coleman. If we hadn't interviewed him, like there was no chance Coleman was ever going to make my vibes rank. So like a lot of personal growth for Coleman. Kudos. Number 4 is Matthew Meyer, who also have no idea if he belongs on this at all. Like his vibes terrify me more than I look forward to them. 3 is Skyy, which stock is down for Skyy right now. That kid should never be below 2 on this list. And again, the Tobey pick has me reconsidering everything I know about Skyy Clark. 2 is RJ Melendez, Cart. Big Melendez guy off vibes alone.
Okay. This is why he can't be in there. I'll let you finish the list because every time I see RJ Melendez highlights, it's that they called him for that. It's the dunk where he got a technical. That's the only time I see highlights of RJ Melendez. That's concerning to me. That's why he's not in my top 5.
There's a new highlight out from practice in the last 24 hours, and he's up there. Just saying. Okay.
I might need to check the video.
RJ to me, I like guys like this, but like I was wrong. This steered me the wrong direction last year, but Caleb Houston, like off headshot alone, I think I texted you like, there's no way this dude can't be a killer on the court because just look at him. Like he's just too bland. He has to be a killer on the court. Like that's how I feel like RJ Melendez is. Like He has no swag. He doesn't care about swag. He's just roll the ball out and I will dunk on you. I like that. Illinois needs a stabilizer this year. I think he can be that. All right. And number one, he might be my number one vibes player in the country, Carr. It's Terrence Shannon. It's Terrence Shannon. Snipe a T, man. Like
good for you for not holding any ill will against Shannon.
Look, Shannon's most recent picture that I've seen from Illinois, he's standing next to Skyy Clark and he's wearing a Skyy Clark t-shirt. And right now, that's the distinction between the two, is that Skyy Clark is out here making sure you know he's Skyy Clark. And oh, by the way, buy a Skyy Clark t-shirt and paint your toenails and take a pic with Tobey. He's doing too much. Snipe a T is the swaggiest player in the country, but he doesn't need to tell you that. He doesn't need to remind you that. He's just going to support his boys and be the coldest person on the floor. And that's what I respect about Terrence Shannon.
I like that energy. Also respect you not holding your ill will towards him when it should be, towards University of Michigan admissions.
Yeah, I mean, Terrence Shannon wants to be a Michigan Wolverine. I'm sure he still does. But ultimately, it didn't play out that way. And I hope he's happy in his new marriage.
Why didn't it play out that way?
Well, a couple different reasons.
Which department is at blame for Terrence Shannon not being a Michigan Wolverine?
Equal parts admissions, Mark Adams, and if you want my honesty, Cart, Michigan failed at dinner. And that dinner with Terrence Shannon that included Juwan, Jace, and Hunter Dickinson, they didn't seal the deal. I don't care if admissions is saying no. You find a way to make that happen at that dinner. Those three failed. I put equal parts on Juwan, Jace, and Hunter.
I'm dead.
It's true. All right. That's enough Illinois talk for today. Final segment. Ohio State did some things. We don't normally talk about them, but we're pretty much a Big Ten show, so I feel obligated to. They took Devin Royal from you, and then they got Scotty Middleton right after that. That's two really, really high level. Like, to sign Devin Royal and then a week later sign a better wing than Devin Royal is pretty crazy, and it feels like it could move the needle in the Big Ten a little bit.
Yeah, and credit to them, because I feel like sometimes it's overlooked, like not nailing down your kind of backyard. And those are two Ohio guys that they didn't let go to other Big Ten schools and get away from them. So credit to them, kudos to them. Say what you want about Chris Holtman, but when it comes to recruiting, like he's getting it done. He's getting players. So all in all, I mean, I'm not gonna fake care about Ohio State hoops, even though like EJ Liddell was one of my favorite Big Ten players of all time.
Well, you're a Buckeye going back a decade now.
Like, no. That's not it. That's not it at all. It's not even getting to that narrative. But it's good for the Big Ten as a whole. I think it'll bounce back from the Little Ten narrative this year that the Big Ten will be back next year.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Little Ten is a 1-year thing, but it is very much a thing. # Little 10. But yeah, it's going to be over by next season, and Michigan State and Ohio State seem to be carrying the torch for that. It's good to know.
Right. We would really be going off as a conference as a whole if the one team in Ann Arbor could recruit, but they're dragging their little Wolverine paws a little bit.
Yeah, the trolling texts are starting to come into me of like, Michigan State got 4 guys. Ohio State got 2 guys. Juwan's got 0. Really? Really? Look, I'm not worried. If you want me to be worried about Juwan Howard signing recruits, you've been asleep for the last 4 years. Like, come on. Does it matter? It's August 8th. Like, none of these, like, and look around the country. Most teams don't have finalized classes. What are you doing?
Playing the world's smallest violin.
It's not a violin. I'm not sad.
You're coping. I'm
not coping. Michigan's about
to. Do not pile on coping by lashing out at me. I'm your friend. Okay.
You know who else is my friend?
Who?
Isaiah Collier. And give me 2 weeks, and I think we're going to be fine.
Okay. Hey, God forbid he ends up on the West Coast.
Listen, you know better than anyone, Cart, how quickly things can change. 2 weeks ago, you were the saddest sad boy I've ever seen. And now 2 weeks later, you're a winner who can't get enough winning. You're having too much winning. I think that's going to change for the Maize and Blue as well. I really do. They're doing the right things. They just don't have a verbal agreement yet. We'll see.
They also don't have a competent admissions department. But anywho, I hope you guys do some things because we need some comp in 23.
You really need to work on better digs than the admissions thing. Like, I feel like historically you've been really good at rival slander, but like you fall on the hitch of admissions too much. Like, that's your fourth admissions mention this episode.
I mean, do you want me to mention other things?
I would prefer you change it up a little bit, show some diversity in insults.
Okay. Your coach can't keep his hands to himself.
That's good.
Your big man gets one fade and a pair of Claire's earrings and swear he's the drippiest guy on the face of the earth. You have a child actor playing on the wing. Kobe Buffkin is basically just 10 pounds of muscle, and all of a sudden he's going to take over this summer. Doug McDaniel is shorter than most fifth graders in a 50-mile radius of Ann Arbor. But anything else you want to talk about here?
Oh, I enjoyed that much more than the fifth admissions mention of you in one episode. So thank you.
Joey Baker's on your basketball team.
That one hurts. Damn it. Notice that you had no slander for Yo-Yo, by the way, which is smart. Smart by you.
Is he signed? Is he coming?
Yes, he's signed. He's joining their Euro trip. Okay.
So you recruited a 3-man that can translate for you. Awesome.
Let the history book show that you've chosen sides on Yo-Yo, and you chose the right one. You don't want to oppose that, man. That's smart by you.
It's because Yo-Yos suck.
All right, since we've done everything on this episode that we possibly can, and you got a lot of happiness out of this episode, I feel obligated to end on just you talking about how great this upcoming season for Michigan State basketball is going to be. Tell the people at home what they have to look forward to, Cart.
I mean, they got to look forward to a Big Ten Freshman of the Year candidate in Jackson Kohler. They got to look forward to 30 minutes of Ja Akins. They got to look forward to
30 minutes?
30 minutes of Ja Akins this year.
Tyson Walker going to get hit by a bus?
I hope not.
Just wondering how he's getting to 30. Continue.
I'm just saying, you can say it's in the season, you can say that, but you still got to roll the ball.
You said it last week. I've never seen a group of people.
There's a lot of excitement going on. So sometimes during excitement, you say things you don't mean. It happens in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I got excited as well when I heard that there was going to be a season 6 of Breaking Bad in 2015, but I still had to wait 18 months for that season to come out. Cart, okay? I didn't get to press play that November and see the episodes that weren't out yet. So I'm just wondering, because the way some people are talking, Cart, you think a top 5 recruiting class, which, by the way, if you're a blue blood, aren't you supposed to get those? Do we do pats on the back now for good recruiting classes? Really? Huh. Whoa. Interesting. But, just one of those, all of a sudden, people are kind of acting like that changes the prospects for this season. Not sure it does.
Okay. Rule number 1, non-blue bloods should not comment on anything that blue bloods do.
Are you saying Michigan State's a blue blood?
Yes.
I have to unpack that.
Seems that we're coming up on time at the end of the Starting 5 episode.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Subscribe, Sleepers Media. Keep an eye out for Pick and Pop Shia LaBeouf's interview with our friend Riley Davis from Heat Check is actually going to be doing that with us. I have a twitch in my eye right now. It's really good.
Shout out to future Michigan Wolverine Isaiah Collier winning MVP at the Steph Curry camp. That's actually big news because people who win MVP at that camp typically feeders. I believe Anthony Edwards was MVP. I'm not sure who was MVP last year. But they usually have feeders win MVP at that camp with the best point guards in the country. So shout out to him for doing that.
You would think as a Michigan fan, I would want to talk about that on one of these segments, but maybe I'm just so used to signing 5-star recruits that it's not really news when one of my future commits plays well. Just saying. We'll see. Tune back in next week to see if all 3 topics are Michigan State signing a 4-star. See how that goes.
Ended on bad energy.